Hey there! Okay, this is a response to Jesus Freak 777, who recently made a video arguing against the legalization of marijuana. And to his credit, he did say that he agrees with the medical use of it, but that it shouldn't be legalized for recreational purposes. And he approached this both from a secular perspective and from a religious one, so I'm gonna do the same thing.
And I wanted to offer some information that kind of bolsters the secular arguments against legalization of marijuana. Recently, there was a study done, and I will put a link in the description box, that indicates that mental illnesses can oftentimes be brought on earlier than they would have been brought on if marijuana wasn't a factor.
Now, as he says himself in the video, this study doesn't claim that marijuana actually causes mental illnesses. And in this case, they are specifically talking about schizophrenia. But what they're saying they found is that in the subjects of this study who had been pot smokers, the psychotic symptoms begin nearly 3 years earlier than in those who had not been marijuana users. Usually, a person with schizophrenia will start developing psychotic symptoms in their early 20s. So according to this study, if they are pot smokers, those symptoms may show up some 3 years earlier. First thing to keep in mind is that this kind of data is purely associative. They don't really know how it works, they don't know exactly what could trigger it. They can theorize about it, but there is no conclusive evidence pointing to that conclusion. In fact, there is this still big-ass controversy about it. Because it could be the opposite. And the people who are predisposed to develop these symptoms earlier in life can also be more prone to substance abuse. I mean, think about it, puberty is hard enough as it is. And they are talking about kids with ages between 12 and 15 years old, who, on top of everything else that goes naturally with that age, might also have to deal with the pre-onset stage of their illness that manifests itself before the actual psychotic symptoms. I'm talking about social withdrawal and loss of motivation, disorganized thinking with losing your train of thought very fast and so on. So would it be that absurd if these kids were more prone to substance abuse as a method of coping with an early pre-onset stage of their illness, rather than the other way around? But even if what this study claims is accurate, what Jesus Freak is saying is that this is a reason to keep marijuana illegal. Because it may or it may not make the symptoms of schizophrenia show earlier. I don't know about you, but I kind of smell hypocrisy all over this. How about the other substances that are actually proven to directly cause severe common illnesses? You know, alcohol causing liver diseases like alcoholic hepatitis or cirrhosis, cancer of the esophagus, nerve damage, epilepsy, tobacco that can cause lung cancer, sugar, which can cause diabetes and heart disease. Why aren't you militating to make all these substances illegal too, Jesus Freak? In fact, in his video he does mention alcohol, saying that, hey, one beer doesn't hurt anybody, right? But this isn't about one beer or one puff of a joint that doesn't do jack shit. This is about the potential risks associated with that particular substance. Think about all the alcohol abuse-related social problems. Domestic violence, assaults, accidental self-injuries, drunk driving accidents, alcoholic comas or even death, none of this ever associated with pot. I mean, sure, weed can turn you into a bit of a dumbass for like an hour or so. But so what? There has never been, for instance, any report linking the use of marijuana to violence of any kind. Ever. In fact, if you witnessed a conversation between two stoners, it kinda goes something like this. I just don't know how to tell you this, dude, but you know, last week, when you were out with your dad, I kinda like totally banged your mom. Oh, that's okay, man, I know she's a hoe. Anywho, leaving the secular arguments aside, Jesus Freak goes on with the really just fun stuff.
Now, from a spiritual perspective, some Christians will say, well, it's wrong. And other Christians will say, well, we don't know if marijuana is wrong because God never really speaks about it. I will agree that the Bible does not speak directly about illegal drugs, but it does talk about obeying the laws of the land. Well, what if the law of the land legalized marijuana? I still believe it would be immoral because the Bible speaks of sobriety. And some people will say sobriety, oh, that's referring to alcohol. Actually, I believe the Bible, the word sobriety is being used in an all-encompassing.
Well, maybe you can recall the story of Noah, the holiest and most virtuous man on earth, the only one worth saving when God sent down a flood and killed, well, everybody. So after the entire flood thing with the ark and the animals and all the fish drowning and all that crap, Noah got pissed drunk and passed out in his tent. Now, did our Heavenly Father frown upon this incident? Nope. And how about Jesus after turning the water into wine? Did he ever say, "There you go, now please drink with moderation and keep your sobriety, y'all"? Nope. I don't know why, but the thought of Jesus saying y'all just makes me laugh. And I know there are some passages in the Bible that do condemn alcohol abuse, but that damn book is so full of contradictions. Men should cut their hair. Men should not cut their hair. No wonder Christians are so confused. But let's face it, Jesus freak, it's really not the Bible or your honest concern for the schizophrenic people that makes you oppose the legalization of marijuana. It's really all about the kids, isn't it?
Oh my god, our children! If pot gets legalized, then they will all become stoners, and then will turn gay and become pregnant, because it's all related.
Do I have to be the one to tell you that marijuana being illegal makes it more accessible to minors? And if you are a teenager and you live in US or in UK or somewhere where alcohol is strictly regulated and you actually need to show an ID to be able to buy it, can you please leave a comment explaining to these people why it would be actually easier for you to get pot than to get alcohol, or even cigarettes for that matter? It really blows my mind how many people are in denial about this. Jesus freak, and all you other worried Christian parents, prohibition will not prevent pot from being accessible to your kids. If they will really want to try it, it will basically be thrown at them. The only thing prohibition accomplishes is to create a black market, with even more risks attached to it, and to waste your tax-paying money to keep in jail people who did not commit any damn crimes. I'm going to link the video I'm responding to in the underbar, and please, if you go watch it and you wanna comment on it, just don't be too dramatic about it. Don't leave like hate comments. I know Jesus freak can be pretty tempting to troll, but you know, say whatever you wanna say, but just be decent about it, please. I don't want him to think,
Oh my god, I'm being attacked by a mob of angry stoners!
Don't want to have that on my conscience. Now, before I go, I want to take this opportunity to correct myself on the story of Noah, because last time I talked about this in an interview with Sky John, I said that his nephew found his sorry, naked, drunken ass in the tent. I was so wrong. It wasn't his nephew who found him, but his son Ham. And this changes everything. By which I mean that this changes nothing. So Ham finds his father passed out naked. He informs his brothers about it. The brothers go to cover him, carefully walking backwards so they don't accidentally take a glimpse at Noah's hairy balls, and they cover him. And then Noah wakes up and realizes that Ham saw him naked, which was extremely gay. And so the most righteous man on earth flips out and puts a slavery curse not on Ham but on Ham's son Canaan, who was his own grandson and who wasn't even there when none of this happened. To which I'm pretty sure Canaan's reaction was,
Grandpa? What the fuck?